Governor Jim Thompson here at the mansion where you were for 14 years. Now you're head of the, what is the actual title? The mansion?
The Illinois Executive Mansion Association, which is a foundation, 501c3 corporation that raises funds privately to help with the restoration and upkeep of the governor's mansion. This is the largest governor's mansion in the United States and the third oldest. So you can imagine what it takes to keep it going. There are so many events and receptions and dinners here. The business of the people of the state of Illinois is done here, especially during the legislative session. But this is a house that's been around for a long time. Half of the house goes back to the middle of the 19th century. So it's a constant challenge to keep it in good repair and to keep it well furnished. So the Mansion Association raises funds privately to do that.
And we recently did a story on the mansion falling into disrepair and took a tour with Dave Borland. I asked him at that time who are some of the dignitaries that had come through. I equate it to if the White House had fallen into such disrepair as it had under Truman, that what does it say to those foreign dignitaries who visit about the state of Illinois that they allow their governor's mansion to fall into such disrepair?
Well, that's true. And what does it say to the people of Illinois who, tourists who come to Springfield? And we have an extraordinary number of tourists in Springfield, especially now that we have the Abraham Lincoln Museum here. That's drawing people from all over the world, and we want them to look at the Illinois governor's mansion and be proud of it. And to go back and tell people in their hometowns that the people's house is in good repair. So we're going to keep it that way.
How would you describe it for those who haven't had a chance to visit? What is your analysis of the state of the governor's mansion at this time?
Well, it's in pretty good shape on the inside. Can use some touching up. It's the outside that's a big challenge. If you take a tour of the mansion, as you did the other day, on the outside, a lot of the railings on the balcony, we've got a balcony running around the house, have disintegrated. And a lot of that is going to have to be replaced, painted. The grounds are in pretty good shape, but that's also a huge responsibility. I mean, the grounds of the governor's mansion are a block long and a block wide, so that's a lot of work just to keep the gardens up. When I came here in 1977, the outside of the mansion was just sort of green. There were little or no flowers, and I found a young man in Peoria who was in charge of the Rose Garden in Peoria and brought him down here to the mansion, and he's still here.
And does an amazing job.
Does an amazing job. And if we have to chain him to the fence to keep him here, we're going to do that. But little by little, and with the help of local garden clubs and with the help of students from the University of Illinois from their horticulture program, we brought the mansion grounds into good shape back in the 80s, and they've kept them that way. But this is a big place, and it takes a lot of work to keep it going.
Let me just, before we close out, I mean, obviously you're interested in the home for a variety of reasons, your love of history as well, and you've been involved in acquiring different properties, including the Frank Lloyd Wright home here in Springfield.
The Dana Thomas House.
The Dana Thomas House.
Yes. Well, historic preservation is one of my passions. It was when I was governor. It still is. My wife has worked with me, and we acquired the Dana Thomas House for the people of the state of Illinois. It's an extraordinary house, worth, I think, about $50 million, maybe $60 million today.
What did the state spend back then to acquire that?
I spent $1 million to acquire it and put about 7 or 8 into the mechanical systems to bring them up to snuff. The owners, the previous owners, the Thomas Publishing Company, had taken very good care of the house. And it is the most complete Frank Lloyd Wright house in the United States. It's got about 95% of its original contents. And after I acquired it for the state of Illinois, I went out and raised $3.5 million privately to get back to the house some of those few things that had escaped, some of the furniture, some of the lamps. We restored the David Davis house in Bloomington, another extraordinary structure. So I think Illinois has been well served by the amount of dollars and care we've put into historic preservation, but we have to start with the governor's house.
Governor Thompson, we thank you for
My pleasure.
sharing your thoughts.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
You're watching the Illinois Channel, an independent nonprofit corporation formed to provide gavel-to-gavel coverage of Illinois state government and other public affairs events taking place across Illinois. If you have any comments or questions on our programming, please email us at illinoischannel@aol.com. Or if you have any questions about the Illinois Channel, please visit our website at www.illinoischannel.org.